Is it making the pew sounds?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fridays with Sue and Steph. We're talking about my dog, my really sweet here. Look at this little dog. Her stomach is making so much gurgling noises. It kept me up all night.
Did she eat this morning?
I don't know. I haven't been home. She's fine-ish. Anyway, hi, everybody. Welcome. Today we are talking about, do you remember those wonderful years of opportunity before you had kids, where everything was a possibility? Everything was like going to be so different than the way everyone else did it, and we could hold on to all these dreams. And then life
what happened?
What?
I said, and then what happened?
That life happens. And yeah. Anyway, so we're going to share with you the dreams we had and how did they play out, good and bad. All right. Do you want to start?
Sure. Okay. So I had dreams of lots of puzzles, sitting in front of a fireplace, and lots of adventures. Loosely defined, maybe we did some of it.
I mean, as an outsider, you did all of it.
Oh my God, Sue. No.
You don't always have a puzzle going?
That was in later years. That was not like that was more of a COVID thing. And that was like I had to like import a child to do the puzzles with me when we had an exchange student living with us. But then they would like, kind of the moth to the flame. They would slowly like, come in.
What's the expression? The moth to the flame? Ah, okay. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I don't know what the moth to the plane means, but that's not what you said.
That's a good one. We should use that. I don't know what it means. But I think I always thought, it's hard, like it's like, am I rewriting, that we would have these adventures, like, and I don't mean adventures like going to Memphis Kitty Park, like I mean adventures like Machu Picchu, like I could hear about these families that like travel internationally and they like did all these things, and I think I thought it would be so much easier rather than what my sister and I deemed a relocation package. Like vacations were like, they were really a relocation package because you really packed up the whole house, and they were definitely
the personalities, the house and the personalities.
And the personalities, right. And I'm not taking myself out of that when I say the personalities. Yeah. So that I am an equal contributor to like
moth to a flame. Thank you, Charles.
So yeah, I would say some of those things have come more to fruition as they've turned into young adults, maybe.
Oh, that's nice. I had this dream of everyone in the kitchen cooking together.
Oh, that's a good one.
And I had it like, I think sometimes it involved music in the background and maybe a little bopping while you were helping. That happens sometimes as adult kids, and maybe forced a little bit before holiday time, like maybe the day of Thanksgiving. Fun. No, I think like every year, the day of Thanksgiving, everyone had jobs and everyone would sometimes be in the kitchen, but it wasn't like a time for the family to be together, which is what I envisioned. I envisioned it less about help and more about a shared experience. And they envision it, could you tell me what you want me to do? And I promise I'll get it done.
Yeah.
Which is also lovely. I appreciate that. But that wasn't in my head. In my head, it was like, oh, good. It's Thanksgiving. We're all going to be in the kitchen, tasting the food as we cook it. And like, but no, I don't think that ever happened.
No. Here's one that I never envisioned that has been a good one for me. Like I was not that mom who like loved little kids and babies. Now I love babies and little kids, I guess, because they're not mine. But I was not that one. Like I have a friend who's like, even just the other day, she said it again. She's like, oh, take me back to when they're 2. And I'm like, wait, do you want to be punished? You know what I mean? Like I come at it so differently than she does. But the one thing I didn't expect was the discussions and conversations as they've turned into like older teens and young adults, just how interesting it is. for lack of a better word. Like I don't remember. I think our kids are different than we were as kids, so I think that's part of it. And I don't remember having that as a kid. I'd be really curious. I should ask my parents that, what they thought those what that looked like around the table. Because I don't have any memories of it, frankly.
Yeah. I don't remember it as a dream or as a reality.
I
mean, sometimes there's funny conversations going on where they decide to tell me what they did in high school.
I love that.
I never really dreamt of that happening. Or what I was hearing for that matter.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So one of the things I swore, I did not understand public chaos. So like on a vacation when a family was like melting down or parents were yelling at kids, I just thought like, oh my God, what is wrong? And I became someone who let public outbursts be a thing. Like,
wait, what do you mean let that be a thing? What does that mean?
Like I didn't try to squelch it. I didn't try to fix it. It was like I could leave a kid in a grocery store tantruming on the floor and stand there. And I remember someone came up to me and said, "Is there anything I could do to help you?" And I said, "You could pretend like you don't see us." Because
that's such a great answer. That's a great answer.
There was nothing they could do to help. Yeah. And I wasn't about to like give in to the candy or whatever else it was to make it go away. And that translates to like teenagers and every other stage of life where I just kind of, I didn't feel good about it. My whole insides were like, please stop. But I didn't try to like rein it in the ways that I thought other parents should have before I had kids. Like I 100% thought it was the parents' responsibility and fault that there was chaos. Yeah. And it turns out that life just delivers that.
It's so true. So I try and remember that, like when I'm on a plane, a public, to your point, public spheres, and I see somebody with like a melting down kid or whatever it is, and convey that, either say it or convey the look like, you know, we've all been there.
Been there.
We've been there. And I've even said, like, when I see like on a plane and wrangling, I'm like, hey, what can I do to help you? I've been there thrice. Like, what can I do to help you?
Yeah. I mean, I was just on a plane where I turned to the woman at the end of it and I said, you're such a good mom. I didn't know. The whole flight, I was thinking, what am I going to say to her? Yeah. It doesn't sound like I was actually judging her.
Yes.
But it was so hard. A mom alone on a plane with a kid who won't stop crying. And, you know, you can feel people staring at you. And I mean, I have 5 kids and I would get on a plane and there was instant hate. Like instant dislike of me. Like, please don't have them sit near me. Please, please. And sometimes I was alone with them. Like Dan wasn't always on a trip with us, especially when I had 3 kids under the age of 4. Nobody, the flight attendants, the people on the plane hated me getting on that plane. And so, you know, I have a little sympathy for those other people.
Because you were looking so forward to being on the plane with 3 young kids. I'm saying, like, you know, it's so hard. It's so hard. Yeah. I think that's what I try, and it's no different than what we do for a living. Like, really try and just be supportive and not like anything. Like, we've been there. We all, like, I get it, you know?
I didn't get it before I was there, though.
Oh, no. Who would? Yeah. How could you? I mean,
well, you could. You could somehow be a person with empathy before you live through it. Like, I think we do have the capacity to show empathy before we experience it. Otherwise, what is empathy about? Like, I haven't had every illness. I haven't had every story, but I couldn't. And, you know, raising kids is the most humbling thing. Like, oh my God, you know, you get over yourself. You have no choice but to get over yourself so quickly. Oh yeah. So yeah, those public moments, those are hard ones. And they were never going to happen in my family.
Nope. So yeah, so many.
Okay, so here's one that my family did do. I grew up in a house where there was a lot of game playing. And then Dan grew up in a house where there was a lot of game playing. I think his was more cards. There was a lot of card games. But that is a thing in my house, like where someone says, anyone want to play a game? And whoever wants to jumps on it. And I delight in it, whether I'm playing or not playing. I delight in that.
And we're the same. It's so funny. So Todd grew up, they played a lot of board games. We played board games and we did a lot of cards, but board games too. And the kids all play. Okay, I have such a fun game. I'm going to leave. This is a great tip for folks. I learned this game from my sister's family. We play it when we go down to Florida. So you play with as many people, which is great. All you have to do is divide the room. Okay. And the idea is to try and divide families. Like you and Dan shouldn't be on the same team. All your kids shouldn't be on the same team. Like they could be on a team with cousins, but you're trying to divide the knowledge, if you will. Okay. And everyone gets little slips of paper and you fill out 10 to 15. Everyone's scribbling things down and you're writing any noun, person, place, or thing. Okay. It could be literally anything. So you fold them up, you throw them in a hat. We played it last weekend with our neighbors and we've raised our kids together. So there's a lot of shared experiences. You throw them in a hat. And then let's say I'm going to start for my team. Someone on the other team sets a timer for a minute and I'm giving clues to my team. And I start reaching into, there's the bowl of all the things we've all written. Okay. And I start pulling out and giving clues. So, it could be maybe it's the Poconos, or the Raleigh, where we grew up as kids going oh, there was where we used to go to in the Catskills and somebody yells the Raleigh and you go for your minute and see how many you get. Then it switches to the other team and you just play however many rounds as possible. But the funniest ones are where you have those shared experiences where maybe it was a neighbor of yours from growing up or a neighbor you hated or loved and their name is in the pot, which is so funny because it gets so many laughs, so much of it, or a place you hated, or one of ours was Mitchell's Ice Cream because everybody loves that. The ice cream place we all love that's in Beechwood, or in Shaker or whatever. It is so much fun. And we played it last year.
Does it have a name?
I don't know. My sister plays it with some friends in Massachusetts. And then when we were looking for a game one night with maybe New Year's Eve last year, and it is hilarious. I highly recommend it. Some of the stuff is just really funny. Really funny.
Yeah, so we played a lot of Boggle over Thanksgiving.
Love that one. That's such a good one.
I do, but I used to be in my family of origin, no one could beat me. In my current family, I'm usually out of 7, I'll be 6th, maybe.
So sad. So sad. But you raise them to play well, which is what I never let anybody win anything. I did not.
Oh, no, I didn't do that.
Yeah, I don't have that in me.
They're quicker and smarter. I guess if we want our kids to be better than us, I've done a great job.
Exactly.
All right, everybody. Thanks for being here with us. Have a great week, and we will see you next week.